went pretty smoothly. As you had mentioned at the top, it was one of the quickest projects they were able to get off the ground. As some of the folks listening know, affordable housing projects can take quite some time to develop. And this one from start to finish was less than 5 years.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you.
So our next speaker is John Wallenstrom with Alakay, and he's going to talk about several renewable projects and some of the mixed-use developments he's developing. So John, are you with us?
I'm with you. Yeah, thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here. I appreciate this, and my only regret is that we're not able to do this in person, but I appreciate you guys putting this together. Next slide, please. So my name's John Wallenstrom. I'm an Oahu developer here. I've been involved in military housing, which is which is indicated with the flags that I put down there. Number of renewable energy projects, the suns and the names, and then 2 apartment projects with the housing. Next slide, please. So a project that I did quite a while ago is the Kapolei Sustainable Energy Park. This was a PV farm, about 1 megawatt, powers, I think, about the equivalent electricity for 6,000 homes, I believe. And this was the old Hawaii, or it's a Hawaii Western Steel plant. So it's a waste area. Heavy metals are encapsulated on this site, and we developed, essentially, think of it as a rooftop PV system on top of the remediated, or the stored, I think more accurately, waste within the capped area. Next slide, please. So the point I'm going to try to make today, or I think what's interesting, and anytime I'm on a panel with HART or talking about things in relationship to HART, is hopefully we'll be doing more TOD, more infill development. Prior to coming to Hawaii, I did quite a bit of infill, again, typically rental, some mixed use projects. And what you can see here, and I had never done this prior to this conference, but as you look at the sites that are really truly TOD, and the definition I used was a project that was within walking distance, an easy walk of a metro. Those are indicated in yellow with TOD. And then to the right were projects where I had to do a phase 2. So, we do phase 1s on everything. But as we went in, and it makes a lot of sense, right, as you go into areas that had been typically previously used, these are all on the east coast of the US, you end up running into situations where there is some environmental issue. So the next slide, please. So now I'll go to the project that I'm developing right now. So like Miriam, I do rental housing, although Miriam is doing terrific work housing people with very low incomes. We do a lot of affordable. In fact, maybe skip to the next slide, please. Yeah, we do a lot of affordable, although our affordable is mixed with market rate. So this slide's actually wrong. We've developed since 2014 841 new units, all of which are market. So because it's rental housing, the median income of our resident is the median income for that area. In fact, it's interesting with Kapolei Loss, which is the 499 units developed in 2014, the rental incomes were exactly, our average rental income was exactly the average rental income for Kapolei. And that project, we had 2 programs. 20% of our units were built at 80% of median or below, and 60% were at 140% of median and below. So 2 mandatory affordable components within that project. The project that my partner Cayenne and I are developing right now, the Element, is 318 units. Next slide. I'll just run through some slides with the Element. Oh, I'm sorry. So here's the Kapolei Lofts. This is in the town of Kapolei, so not really on the transit per se. But again, the average household income was $95,000. That is the average household income for Kapolei. Most of the people commuted within 10 miles of their home, which is kind of interesting because 10 miles didn't get you, as an example, from Kapolei into Pearl Harbor even. So we tend to house people who are relatively close to, they live close to where they work. Next slide. So the element, the project I'm developing right now, is a part of the D.R. Horton master plan. We've purchased land from D.R. Horton. They certainly had environmental studies and things that they went through. The site that we purchased was relatively clean, and frankly, D.R. Horton did most of the work for us. But you can see us on the left-hand side, it says subject site. It's a little hard to read, but that is right on the rail. In fact, we're the closest site to the UH West Oahu rail site. And fortunately, we'll be opening it almost coincident with the rail. Next slide. Here you can see us under construction. Next slide. Just some of the amenities. These are from Kapolei Lost, but we'll be doing very similar sorts of things with the element, although I think nicer. Next slide. Here's a view of the pool clubhouse facility that all of our residents will enjoy. Next slide. Next slide. And I guess I just pause it. You know, again, I'm very proud of these sorts of projects. They're good. They bring the type of housing. If we were in another city, about 10 to 20% of the housing that would be delivered in those markets would be this type of housing, you know, kind of market to lightly subsidized or lightly subsidized rental housing. Hawaii just doesn't deliver this. Miriam does a great job. We deliver proportionately about as many tax credit apartments as other states do because they're based on the size of those. It's proportionate to the population. So this is a type of housing that I think will have real opportunities as TOD advances and as we kind of go to a society where people actually can take the rail in. And as we do that, of course, we're going to need to be good stewards of the environment and, you know, engage with DOH early and do the sorts of studies that need to be done in a timely manner. And that's my presentation. I'm happy I forgot, unlike everyone else, I didn't leave my contact information, but I'll provide it. Well, Ignacio frankly has
Right.
it. Welcome to share with others.
Yes, the information will be available with the speaker bios and in the program. Thank you so much, John. And I have one question for